Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you for dropping by. Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. How easy is it to replace you? Are you irreplaceable? And what I'm talking about is with your partner, with your Filipina partner. Just how easy is it for her to replace you? You'd be surprised. Let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. There are varying degrees as to where you might find yourself in this equation. All right. You may be in the U.S., you may be in the Philippines, you may be in a long distance relationship, you may be married with children. So you're going to find yourself in many different categories, or maybe you won't, but there are many different categories. So let's take a look at some of the biggest ones that concern people. The first one is you're in a long distance relationship. You're so replaceable, it's not even funny. Okay? You're going to hear me say this more than once. She was looking before you, she found you, she can find somebody else. All right? There's no way around that at all. And you can't argue that point. It depends on the type of person that you are in with. And I'm not talking about how traditional or non-traditional or educated or from the city or from the province. It has everything to do with exactly who they individually are. If they found you, if you found them, somebody else can. And if you don't take care of business and treat them the way they want to be treated, then when it's time to cut you loose because they found something else that has more promise, hey, you're out of there. What about when you come here? Well, when you come here to the Philippines, things are a little bit different, but very similar. Before I go into that, hey, if you appreciate the information that we put out, if you like the channel, the satire, all the things that go with it, please do subscribe. That's the easiest way to become a part of this community, and it is the easiest way to help and show support for the channel. Subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Now, when you come here, odds are you have either conversed in the past, either through, some dating app or whatever, or you were introduced at a previous trip or whatever. You're still replaceable. People tend to forget that this is not the old Philippines. These women have a lot of options. Don't think just because they're in the quote unquote province, they don't have a pathway to meet other men. Don't think for a fact and, for a minute that it has to be a foreigner either. You see, Filipino women still have not lost a large segment of traditional values. Those values are family. And family doesn't necessarily mean just kids or parents or siblings. Family means their relationship individually. If they're not happy, they'll only take that shit for so long. They'll only deal with it for so long. That's where it's changed, but yet it's the same. We see so many men comment, put out blogs, saying the entire spiel of, I control the money, I control the relationship. It's my way or the highway. And then we see so many men, comments and blogs. Oh, I'm so heartbroken. I got scammed. She left me. She did this. All right. You know something? When you're an asshole, you're easily replaced. When you think you can just dominate this entire relationship, you're going to find out if it's not next week, next year, 10 years from now. You're going to find out you're replaceable very easily. The reason you're replaceable is because of men just like you. Men who are looking for relationships. Men who are willing to be weak to begin with. And I'm not saying weak by not being commanding, by not being dominating. I'm saying weak in understanding what they want and in making sure their partner understands that. You see, you can control the money all you want. You can control all aspects all you want, but you can't control her. In the end, she has options. And if you don't tell her prior to getting into the depth of this relationship exactly how things are going to be according to you, right? Well, then all of a sudden, her desire to stay in that situation becomes weaker and weaker. And there's always going to be a guy waiting in the wings. There's always a guy waiting in the wings. Don't you remember? High school is a very bad example, but what about after high school? For those of you that went to college, for those of you that went into the workforce, there's always a guy that wants your girl. Always. It never fails. And if you don't treat her right, somebody else will. There's actually a famous song about that. Treating a girl right. I can't remember the name of it or the lyrics or anything else. I just know that there is. Look, you are replaceable when you're an ass. You're replaceable when you think that you are going to just dominate this individual's life and that you're only going to live the way you want, and she will adapt. You know something? I pity you if that's what you think. And you know what? Let me rephrase that. You're welcome to your opinion, and you can live by that opinion, and you can deal with that opinion. But in the long run, we don't see that opinion lasting very, very long. All right? Just by human nature. I mean, if you beat a dog, sooner or later, that dog's going to bite you back. It's inevitable. If you treat this woman poorly, sooner or later, she also is going to bite back. All right? She's going to gather her stuff. She's going to prepare in silence. All right? And then she's going to be gone. And you're going to sit there all brokenhearted. You are replaceable, far more replaceable than you think you are. Now, don't get me wrong. There are exceptions to all rules. There are those that will just hang out and endure it, okay, up to a certain point in time. But for them, they're just measuring when you're going to kick off. They're like, I can make it that long. As long as they feel like they're taken care of after you kick off. But in reality, you're replaceable. There are men for every woman out there that is in one of these situations. Just by the nature of the fact that she dated, lived, or was involved in a relationship with a foreigner opens her up to every one of those foreigners. Don't think for a second that you're not replaceable. Don't think you have carte blanche to just be an asshole. All right. Relationships are two-way streets, and they should be measured and evaluated on a consistent basis. So to think that you're so great and good, that's a bad, bad thought. And we see these people that spout, I have the money. I just can't tell you the arrogance that we see in these types of people. All right. You've seen bloggers that are this way. Sunshine Shoulders is a perfect example. Okay. There are others. We see commenters that are this way. There are many. So don't find yourself in that situation. You can avoid that situation easily. You can tell the women that you get into relationships with right off the get-go. What are the limitations of my relationship? What am I willing to do? Tell them that right off the get-go so they know exactly what they're getting into. And then don't change. Don't ever change. Because once they see you flip-flopping in either direction, for better or for worse, you're screwed. Absolutely screwed. So to think that you're not replaceable is a very big understatement. It really is. To consider that you are a reasonable person, that's what you have to do. But let us know in the comments. Tell us in the comments, how do you feel? Are you irreplaceable? Are you, do you walk on water that so much that you are just irreplaceable? That your partner doesn't stand a chance in finding another relationship equal to or better than what she has already? Tell us about it. We'd like to know. Thanks. Have a great day.